Good morning. Today we're going to cover the work order module, and there are several different ways the work order module operates depending on how you prefer to run it. One way is in the complaints module. When you enter a complaint, we'll open it. Once you fill out the particulars of the complaint, you can create a work order simply by checking this and then clicking OK. Or you can create a piece of paper to hand to somebody to solve the complaint by just pressing the print module. This goes through the printer selector, so you can maybe send it into another printer on the network, or could fax it out to a remote location. And it'll look something like this. They'll take the complaint out, and then when they solve it or whatever they do, they'll fill it in here. You can then take that into cost accounting to enter a record as well as close a complaint. The other way of creating work order is from the quickest menu. Just enter a W a few times, get down and highlight work orders, press enter. And right now we've got a couple of work orders in here. So we'll just take a look at one of these. You fill out the particulars on the work order, who's going to be responsible and all that. You also can add additional resources to the work order by clicking on that tab and then filling out the other resources needed. From here, we might want to type in more on the this actual work order started out as a complaint, and it was sent down through here. Once you create the work order and then the work is done, we'll do a work order, open work order report here. And this also can go out through the printer selector, so you might fax it. The work order is filled out. When they take this to the site of the complaint, then they'll fill out any other personnel, regular hours, overtime hours, equipment, the type of equipment, and the material applied to the job, as well as any work notes. This comes back and then you close the work order with that information, or it might be a work order that lasts several days, but you would collect all that. To now collect that information, you'd click on the close work order, and let's just close this particular work order. We'll double click on it, and now we're in cost accounting. When you assign this work order to, we'll say this is a brush hog project, when you assign it, it becomes, it keeps track that it is a work order, but it also turns it in and assigns the costs that are collected to whatever project you select. We'll say they put in 3 hours and 3 hours runtime on the equipment, didn't use any materials. Now, if you also want to add multiple records to this work order, you'd click the INC include and then click OK, and then you can add multiple work orders. This is open work orders that are partially worked, and it went from the close or the open work orders not worked to partially worked, and it's on this record at this point. So at that point, adding another record to it, you hit the copy button. We'll say this fellow was working on it also. He didn't use any equipment, and we want to keep this work order open, so we click OK and we'll save that record. We'll copy it again, and we'll say a third person was on the work order, and he also worked 3 hours. So now we've entered 3 different people that took part in this work order. And if we want to then show it as a close, we want to unclick this and then click OK, and then it'll become a closed work order. So basically that's the way you create in as a complaint, and then on through to create a work order, or go directly to work orders. And at this point then you can record all the costs. Now we can go out to reporting, to report manager, and scroll on down to the work orders section, click the plus. There are several different types of work order reports you can print. You can print a range of closed work orders, select work order for billing, open work order report, let's just go ahead and run this one, double click on it, and we'll run it and run it over our longer date range. This also goes through the selector, because you might want to fax this out to someone or send it to someone else's printer. So in that range we only have the one open work order, which when we're back in work orders, that would have been the only open work order we have at the time. So there are several different types of reports. There are reports you can run that will let you do billing on the work order. Also from the work order module, there are the reports that are right here that you also can run on against any work order. Select any open work order, closed work order, or anything. So there are several different types of reports you can run. If there are no reports that really summarize what you have, whatever is in the browse window you can send on out to like an HTML web page, or to Excel or to PDF or any number of items like that. So this created that one record. By the same token, if you go give us a call or email, and next week we will be covering the All Assets module.